Hey guys, Magma here, and today we're back with another brand new video and another brand new Injustice 2 comic book recap and review. And we're going to be covering Chapter 11 and Chapter 12 on the Injustice 2 comic book series by Tom Taylor. And this is about Supergirl and her journey to Earth when she rose up and just woke up. That's when she woke up on Earth. And this is pretty much telling the story of Supergirl's origin story in the Injustice universe. Now, in the Injustice 2 story mode, we got a short snippet of it in the beginning with her on Krypton, and that's it, because there was a big time skip, and we didn't really see her do much on her planet Krypton and on Earth. So here in the Injustice 2 comic series, we're actually going to explore that, which is cool, because in the comic books you can do a lot more, and that's why I really love the Injustice whole storyline in the universe. Is you have the games and comics, and they tell a really tight and good story. But anyway, we see Krypton, and pretty much Kara is learning to fly on one of those things that I don't know what they are, but I'm pretty sure I've seen them in other Krypton portrayals. I think in Man of Steel we had some creatures there, but yeah, this Krypton does look a bit like Man of Steel to me with how it just looks. It's not like the Richard Donner Superman Krypton. It's more like the the Krypton in Man of Steel. But pretty much we see Kara is gonna ride one of these things, and she's a little scared. She's like, no, I don't want to do this. But then Jor-El and Zor-El tell her, wait, come on, do you need a push? And she's like, no, I can do this. And boom, she lands on this thing, and it flies. It's like some kind of bug thing. I don't know what it is, but it has wings, and she flies. But she, hurts her head a little bit, so, she got damaged. But yeah, it's like a bug thing. And pretty much she gets back home, and her head is a little damaged. Her arm's broken, so she needs to be sedated. She's like, I don't want to sleep. It's like, don't worry, okay? Because, when you sleep, everything will be better when you wake up. Of course, this is a hint, hint, cough, cough to the whole, Kara being in cryo sleep with the whole pod when it lands on Earth. So I see what you're trying to do, Injustice 2 comic writers. Just being like, haha, get it? Because, future events. But anyway, we cut 6 years later, and this is the fall of Krypton. And again, I really love how Krypton just looks in these panels. It's really, you get the sense that it's an advanced civilization, I suppose, with these buildings and architecture, and this armor and these guns are really high tech. And we see the Brainiac ship, and of course, every Brainiac ship has a face on it in previous media portrayals and all that. But pretty much we see the Brainiac ship, it has the iconic face look on there on the ship, and pretty much we see his armor almost reminds me of Man of Steel, how everything looks to the guns, and we get some lasers being shot. But, they're saying it's time because Brainiac has destabilized Krypton's core, which means Krypton is going to go blowing up everything. You know how it goes with Krypton. Always blows up, which is very sad. But pretty much, they're saying, alright, you need to get Kara away. And they smile at each other, say, do you need a push? Referencing what happened 6 years before. But pretty much they smile, they hug, and boom! It's we see this, Krypton, Brainiac robot getting his, tentacle, I suppose, and it goes through Zor-El's heart, and you're just like, what? Of course, everyone's gonna die in Krypton, but the fact that we know Brainiac's robot actually kills Zor-El, it gives us that more, reasons, oh, he was murdered here, because everybody else gets blown up, but here, he was, murdered, which makes it even worse. How can you make a death of someone on Krypton worse? Make them actually genuinely be murdered and not, exploding in the, Krypton's core. But that's what happens, and we see this close-up of Jor-El. He shoots off, but he's gonna die. He's like, you need to get Kara, you need to get his son out of here. And they hug, saying, I'll be right behind you. And in the background, we see some Brainiac robots, which I love the design of these Brainiac robots. They look so awesome. It's just the colors in these, Injustice 2 comics, the artwork, it's all so amazing. I like it when we actually see Krypton, because we're always on Earth in the Injustice 2 comics, obviously. So when we actually get to see a new planet, it looks so interesting. We see all these ships, we see this these armors and these guns, but pretty much Zor-El is dead. So then Jor-El comes, he has both of their guns, and one of them is just covered in blood, which tells us, yep, he's dead. So this is what I think is Alara, I think it's Allura, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's Allura. So pretty much she tells Allura that, yep, he's dead, but we're all gonna die. But don't worry, our son, well, my son, and your daughter will be Krypton's next generation. They'll have, the soul of Krypton beating in their hearts, and that's the entire goal. So they get to Kara. I've already seen what happens from Kara's perspective in the Injustice 2 story mode at the beginning of Chapter 1. But here we get this, we see this dead person in the background, and this, Brainiac robot has a tentacle coming out of his hand, and this looks so sinister. I think we see two Brainiac robot in the back, or just one. But yeah, we see this Brainiac robot, and he's getting like really close to Kara. Like if I was Kara, I would be pretty damn scared. Like just seeing how close he's, just the way it, like the position it is, the way it moves. But yeah, it's two Brainiac robots. They get destroyed by Alara's gun, and pretty much they see a spaceship, and this only has place for only one person. So we know that Alara makes room for Kara, and actually Alara actually dies just before Kara's eyes in the Injustice 2 story mode, but we don't see here. But you know, Kara's saying, "No, I won't leave you, please." And then we cut to the spaceship or the pod in space, saying, you know, "Don't make me leave you." And we see the background where Krypton is destroyed. Like Kara and Kal-El were really close. They made it lucky, because we can see the core of Krypton has destroyed and the entire planet is gone. That's just what happened. Could you imagine? Because the thing was with Kal-El is he wasn't even born when Krypton was destroyed, but Kara was. She had her entire life there, friends, family. Kal-El is way less tragic because he didn't even know he had alien parents till he was like 17 years old. So he's just like, what? But Kara, she witnessed it, and in that aspect it makes her just more like, you know, it makes her a bit more like special in that type of aspect. With Superman, he didn't really have like, you know, a damaging background, like his parents were shot down in an alleyway. But really that's what happened with Kara, is her family is dead in front of her eyes on the planet of Krypton. And yeah, that is just like, that's, you know, Kara's origin. But of course, in the Injustice universe, a meteorite hits, and that causes the ship to go off course, and Kara spends a lot of years in cryo sleep, the trajectory and all that. But Kal-El lands safely on Earth, while Kara waits years. Like, jeez, and she remembers what, you know, her mother told her, and they're saying, when you wake up, you'll be with family, and it'll all get better. And here, she sees Black Adam, and she's asking, are you know, Kal-El? He's like, no, but I am his friend, you can trust me. And the thing is, this is important because it shows us the aspect of like how Kara views this all. Because you see Black Adam, there's just sunshine behind him. He's like, yo, don't worry, I'm a good guy. You don't need to be, you know, all worrying about me. Of course, he's a bad guy. But Kara doesn't know that, which is really special to, you know, for the character of Kara, to, you know, to understand where she's coming from. Because in Injustice 2, we know that Kara joins on the Superman side with Black Adam and Wonder Woman, but we really get to see what it was like from her perspective, how everything was going. And pretty much the next chapter continues when she wakes up, and now she's in contact with Black Adam. And really, she's not saying like a word, you know what I mean? He's like, you're Kryptonian, because he can tell by the physiology, the muscles, all of that stuff. But pretty much, Black Adam has some trouble with the borders, as these guys see some, you know, trouble going on. This is like the space pod goes in to Kondak, and he's just like, okay, we have this general here, and he's like, what's going on here? Now, Black Adam has some sunshine for Kara. It's important for getting her strength up. But while, you know, Kara's being looked after by this lady, pretty much, Black Adam comes to the borders and deals with the general. And he's saying something flew the skies of Bialia. I'm not sure how you say that, but Bialia. And into Kondak. You were spotted retrieving it. And of course, Black Adam's like, bro, I am the king of Kondak. You think you're better than me? You are lesser than me. He's like, how was I spotted retrieving it? I was in Kondak airspace. And of course, instantly when Black Adam speaks, this general's like pisses himself. He's just like, if this object is of value or importance, Biala has claim to. And then Black Adam just cuts him. He's like, its importance or value is no concern of yours. The object is in Kondak now. It belongs to my people. I see some electric bolt, like, you know, surging off him a bit. And he's just like really getting up close to this general. We can see the general's just like, no. He tries to like raise a finger, but Black Adam's just like, you will seize this immediately, whatever it is. I say it's just a conversation, but he's like, would you bring tanks to a conversation? And pretty much he's saying, I need to be heard. He's like, I have heard enough. Because Black Adam is just like, I don't need to hear any of this. But then he decides, like, you know, he decides, yeah, I'll let you live if you just, like, you know, call this an error and go on your way. But the general is just like, no, I can't let this. And then he touches him on the shoulder. He's like, how dare you? Then he shouts out, Shazam! Lightning comes, and he turns into a skeleton. And you're just like, damn. But Black Adam, of course, is brutal. He is the king of Kondak. What do you expect? He was, like, raised as a slave. But then he grew up to be the king of Kondak, which is very interesting. But pretty much they say fire. We see the tanks. None of that's going to work on Black Adam. He, like, punches through, like, this bullet from the tank. And he's just, like, pathetic. And crushes every single one. We see there's, like, a big explosion. And the guy who's in second command, he wants to tell like the president something, but he broke his jaw, so he needs to riot instead. And he says, if we ever have another conversation that begins with you pointing weapons into Kondak, I will level your country in a day. And then we see Vixen, and I can't remember, Animal Man, I think it's Animal Man and Vixen are pretty much just saying we need to tell Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, what we've seen today, because they saw Black Adam just mess up these people, the general, second in command, all these tanks, they've all been destroyed, all these soldiers are dead, like, that's what happened. The only person alive is the general, the second in command, but pretty much his jaw's broken, so even then, it's very sad for him. But pretty much, Black Adam comes back, and the lady says that she began to speak, and Black Adam's like, what did she say? But she only said that her name was Kara, but she left the room, because really it's only for Black Adam's ears. So Black Adam comes, says, I'm sorry, I have business to attend to. But then, Kara starts telling, Black Adam everything about Krypton, her planet, and how it was destroyed. We see that same panel where we see, like, one eye, Krypton's there, then the other, boom, Krypton just destroyed. She had to watch her world end. And here, this is actually very interesting, because pretty much she's wondering what happened to Kal-El, how long was I asleep, all these questions, and he's like, please, tell me what's happened, what happened to the cousin, my cousin Kal-El. And pretty much Black Adam saying Kal-El was a leader, and this is where he recaps the events of the All Injustice 1 comic and Injustice 1 story mode. But this is from his perspective, and this makes it seem like Batman is a villain. We've even seen these panels where Batman looks all sinister, and that's what's really interesting, because in Injustice 2 story mode we had that whole line where every villain is the hero of their own story. This is even more true in here, where we see that Kara is looking in the eyes of Black Adam and seeing that yes, every villain is the hero of their own story, because it looks like Batman is the villain. We even saw this like imagery in Injustice 2 with Superman in his cell and Batman in the back, like he's the he's like holding Superman captive, he's the captivator, he's like the prison, guard, whatever. He is like, dangerous. And pretty much they need to find him, but they need to make it slowly first, because he's beyond their protection, yada yada yada. And he begins to recap, and we see that, Black Adam says that he was tricked by great evil. He lost his wife, his unborn child. This all starts out the same as we know it. We see the Joker. We see him just being, grieving. But then they're saying how Superman decided that he was going to take that grief and make it, useful, make a better world from it. So he tried to spare people from the pain he had gone through. And he even asked, like Batman to help. But this is where it changes. The narrative is where, he says the man he stood beside for years, his best friend, betrayed him. And we see Batman just like shouting at Superman, where Superman's like, I don't want this, I'm here for a peaceful conversation. Of course, that's not happened in the Injustice universe, but we see Batman just like shouting at Superman, just like, no. So it's like in Kal-El's time of greatest pain and greatest need, Batman turned his back on his friend. And really, we know it's not like this, but we see how everyone is all cool, chillax with these superheroes, like, yo, you superheroes are cool, but Batman's just like, no, you superheroes suck. So that's how it's like we see Wonder Woman, Flash, Superman, Green Lantern, they're all loved in the Injustice comic. We do know that everybody hates these superheroes like Cyborg, Superman, because they're the insurgency and they've been killing. Because the thing is with criminals is once you take one life of a criminal away, when does it stop? Because Superman killed the Joker, and when he killed the Joker, he just didn't stop killing, you know what I mean? He thought like the more criminals you kill, the more easier it becomes, and he killed so many criminals that he couldn't tell the difference between criminals and people who got in his way, you know what I mean? That's why he killed Green Arrow, because he didn't even see him. Like, he saw him as a criminal at that point. Like, he just stood in his way. So anyone who stands in his way is seen as a criminal in his eyes, because he's killed so many criminals. So by the time the line is blurred and he doesn't even see himself the mistakes he's making. But yeah, we see that, from Black Adam, he's saying that Kal-El only wanted the best for the people of Earth. He was kind ruler and much loved, although he wasn't much loved, he was hated. And it says that the Batman is conniving, cruel, and he betrayed Kal-El. And we see Batman has this sinister smile like Jesus. Everyone from the other Earth has red eyes, they all look evil. And he's saying that Batman alone could not stand against Superman and the heroes who loved him. So he brought these other superheroes from this different, Earth and dimension, pulled them in. And they said they were more like twisted versions, and we know that's not true, because these ones are the cool versions, you know what I mean? But here they're seen with red eyes, and we really understand what Supergirl, like, her perspective and why she joined with Black Adam and Wonder Woman to help Superman escape. That's why she's on Superman's side at the beginning of Injustice 2 story mode. So really see what happens here. And yeah, this is like showing events from the Injustice 1 story mode, where it says, oh, they took his friends, they took the love, of Superman, and they hurt and imprisoned Superman, and they stripped his world of peace that he created, and now he's held up in a cell. And I said, and of course, when you're hearing your cousin all this, all this stuff that you're into this new world, you're like, we need to free him because your cousin is imprisoned. But Black Adam's like, there's only a few of us, but we need to get Wonder Woman because she's a warrior, and she's actually stuck with the Amazons because she's actually rescued by the Amazons, because the Amazons do not follow her, as we know what happened with the Injustice 1 story mode, where pretty much what happened is she was like betraying the belief of the Amazons and pretty much sacrificed everything for only one man, which is of course against the Amazons. They're all about woman power, none of that man thing. Pretty much that's their plan, and Supergirl's gonna help, but she must stay hidden. And she's just like, thank you, because Kandak is now her home for Kara to, revive herself, get ready, and stay hidden from sight. So that's what happened in the Injustice 2 comic book. Now, Kara doesn't know her abilities yet, but she's going to know, of course. So we're going to see the future issues about Kara, which is very interesting at the end of this issue. So yeah, overall, I really enjoy the Injustice 2 comic. As you know, the storylines are interesting. I absolutely just love everything they're doing with the Injustice 2 comic book. And next time we're going to be talking about the wedding, and that should be something very interesting. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and share, and if you come across our first time, why not subscribe, as I make comic book related videos almost every day. But anyway, that's been Magma Infinity signing out. Peace.